Someone in the AFL world is lying, either the media, AFL players, their managers, or even their friends. Some of these recent events are just adding to the strange world of the AFL media, which is getting weirder by the day. So let's start with one of the AFL's most senior journalists and see what has got them into a bit of a pickle. Recently on the agenda setters, Caroline Wilson revealed a big story around the future of St Kilda star Nasiah Wanganeen-Malira. The defender is from South Australia and both clubs are interested in him joining them, but he might not be interested in joining the Adelaide Crows. Wilson on the show said, "I'm making no comment about the club's handling of that incident because my memory is that Matthew Nicks, the coach, was shattered by that incident and the club did everything they could to get around Robbie Young, the player abused. But Wanganeen-Malira has clarified that Matthew Nicks was the coach at the time and has indicated that he doesn't want to go to the Adelaide Football Club." Now this is all to do with Taylor Walker and his racial slur back in 2021 directed at Robbie Young at an Adelaide Crows Sandful game. Wilson put her foot down and said the incident would be the reason Wanganeen-Malira would not choose to go and request a move to the Crows. Wilson further went on to say, and so for a variety of reasons, but specifically Wanganeen-Malira's issues with Taylor Walker and what happened back then, the view from Port Adelaide and others in the footy community is if he does leave, he'll be going to Port Adelaide. But Wanganeen-Malira's manager fired back at that report. In a statement to Nine, he said, "Reports made in the media suggesting that Nasiah Wanganeen-Malira has ruled out joining the Adelaide Crows due to comments made by Taylor Walker in 2021 are false. Nasiah is currently considering his future, and at this stage, no decisions have been made, and any speculation suggesting otherwise is inaccurate." Further on, Wanganeen-Malira even called Walker himself and made it clear to the Crows veteran forward that there is no issue with what he did back in 2021. It's a strange situation, and clearly someone is not telling the whole truth. When asked about a report for a final time on 3AW, Wilson doubled down that she's the one who is correct. So I don't know what more I can say. I can also understand why, if that's correct, that he has called Tex Walker. I can understand why he would do that after my report because it probably made him feel extremely uncomfortable. But I can only report what I said and I would not have made it up. It's absolutely correct. Time will tell who is telling the truth. A close associate of Wilson and Channel 9 chief football reporter Tom Morris was also put in a bit of a spotlight. This time, it was to do with Western Bulldog forward Jamarra Ugle-Hagan and his possible future beyond 2025. In some good news, it looks like he may be returning to the club's AFL or VFL program soon, but is obviously a long way off playing AFL. This has sparked speculation he could be on his way out either from a trade request himself or the Bulldogs wanting him out and shopping him around. Either way, the Sydney Swans have been the main team linked. They need a big key forward, and Ugle-Hagan no doubt has the star factor to replace Lance Franklin. The dedication and commitment to the game is the question. But Tom Morris in a tweet made it clear Ugle-Hagan likes the idea of playing with Sydney and living there. His exact tweet reads, "Jamarra has told several people close to him in recent weeks he likes the idea of living in Sydney next year and playing for the Swans." But just like with Wanganeen-Malira, Ugle-Hagan, this time by his own words, shut down Morris. In a little reply to the quote that was put up on an Instagram post, Ugle-Hagan wrote, "None of my mates would talk to you, bro. Stop capping." Translate that to normal English, and he is basically saying Morris isn't telling the truth and is essentially making up this report of Ugle-Hagan wanting to go to Sydney. Again, time will tell who is telling the truth here. However, Morris on SEN made a strange point about the whole situation. In his original tweet, he doesn't mention that he believes Ugle-Hagan's first priority is to stay at the Dogs. I can tell you I wasn't lying. Jamarra Ugle-Hagan was telling people that he would like to play for the Sydney Swans next year. Whether that eventuates or not, I'm not sure. I do think that his absolute first preference is to stay at the Dogs if they want him, but they've got to want him and he's got to come to the party as well. There's certainly been an erosion of trust there between Jamara and the Dogs over a period of time. So what was the point of that original tweet, and why didn't Morris make it clear Ugle-Hagan would still prefer to stay at the Bulldogs instead of move to Sydney? It was bizarre. But moving on to everyone's favourite media personality in Kane Cornes. If you can believe it, he was actually forced to apologise. The reason why was to do with the round 9 incident with Lachie Schultz and the 4 field umpires involved. At the time, the agenda setters revealed audio that did not match the original statement by the AFL, and Cornes accused the umpires of not telling the truth and not revealing what they had seen on field to the AFL when Schultz was concussed. The following days made it clear the error was based upon the communication of the parties involved and not directly with those 4 field umpires who Cornes did name and essentially try to shame on television. With the potential threat of legal action reported in the media outlets, the Volcano had to swallow a bit of his pride and apologise. Cornes apologised on air to the 4 umpires for false allegations he made on SEN Sports Day on May 14th. I accused field umpires who were officiating that round 9 match between Fremantle and Collingwood of misleading the AFL, and that they had not seen the incident in which Collingwood's Lachie Schultz suffered a concussion. Cornes said, "Now in the light of the additional statement which made it clear the umpires had not misled the AFL, I acknowledge that the allegations made by me on this show were false, and I withdraw them." It's really the first time the Seven Network hasn't fully backed their man, and it does show how scared these networks are of any possible legal action against them. Fair to say, Cornes will be a touch more careful in the future when accusing other people of doing certain things. And the final thing that caught the football public's attention was something posted online. This edited photo of Jack Ginnivan calling the Adelaide Crows relates to an online trend where employees call their bosses or vice versa or something like that at night to wake them up. Obviously the image is implying after Hawthorn's win that Ginnivan is the boss or he owns Adelaide. Now the issue with it was uploaded online by the official AFL account. It's not the biggest crime in the world, and a lot of you may not even care in this new digital age where these types of memes are normal. But for the official representative account of the AFL to post it, it was a bit odd. Everyone is trying to capitalise online and garner attention, including the league office, and Ginnivan is a draw card, so you can understand those who made it and why they uploaded it on the AFL account. But I'm not sure it's the best look for the impartial account that represents the competition. The upload is still on X and has over 350,000 impressions at the time of making this, however, has only 559 likes.